So here it is after we ground off all the paint. Here's the other side. And here's our goal here. And it's just nice and clean, round. It's just a little extra effort. I mean, again, some of those guys will just fold up tabs, screw it in, and call it a day. This way, it's sealed. No water's going to get in. And after that coating, it will get actual undercoat to further seal it, just to protect it from rocks, chips, debris, occasional tire blowout, stuff you see on the road. So that's a huge deal. This is what I've been using for filling up holes, larger gaps. It is strong, it's waterproof. You can pack it on pretty thick, grind it down, and it does a great job of, hiding your not so perfect welds. Alright, so we have it on. Any holes that are left, you can just jam this filler right into it and it'll fill it up. Any kind of dips or anything, you spread it on pretty thick. Right now, if you can see closely, it's firm to the touch. It's not rock solid. It is warm. We can use this cheese grater. This will get the bulk of the shaving down. Anytime you do this sanding method, always go at an angle to the subject. And when I mean angle, I'm talking about an X pattern. So I'm going down this way a few times, then I'll come back, go this direction. Obviously you got to flip it over for the sander to go, but an X. Okay. I'm not pressing down hard. The teeth on a cheese grater kind of do enough pressure, enough force, so it kind of digs down, really hits up a high spot. So now, again, that X pattern, I'm going to go up against the direction I was going. Doing this method, it kind of finds the high spots, parts that should not more or less be there. See, look at that. Found that high spot. And so on. I'm going to knock this down, and this will definitely get another wipe. Already you can see what's the high spot here, so in this case, and then the low spot. While it's still somewhat tacky, I'll still go over it with a little bit of 40 grit just to scuff that up, and then wipe it again. Here you can see this is pretty much filled up. I'm going to go back over, and this should block out pretty flat. A little dip right there. The edge of the wheel well I'm leaving last. That actually kind of forms on its own. Keep in mind, this little extra step, no one's ever going to see. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be nice and clean. That's it. That's the goal. Nice and clean, functional, usable space. This is the whole point of this, creating space for a bigger wheel, lower drop. We finally got all the dips close to flat. Now I'm going to go over it with a thinner, lighter body filler to get all these little dips out, just to make it nice. Again, no one is going to see it once this wide body panel goes on, but just knowing it's done, knowing it's finished, gives you a different kind of peace of mind. Here's what I'm going to use for doing all the finer filling for bodywork. This is USC 19000. Lightweight filler, easy to sand, easy to mix, doesn't clump or stick, cures really well. Alright, so I wiped that and really caked it on. I like to take these box cutters, extend the blade out as long as I can, run it through. Things like this, you'll find a common ground, a common circumference, and it'll just kind of shape itself out. Okay, so now that I've got this evened out, now we need to get that evened out. That's where the cheese grater will come through and the blocks. So I'm going to let that cure just a little bit more, then I'll hit it up with a cheese grater. Alright, here we go. So after that wipe, I went ahead and cheese grated all the excess, went over it with a little bit of 40 grit, and then of course chased it down with 80 grit, 150 grit, and then finally 220 grit. As you can see, almost all of the blue is sanded off. Get the sun glare is kind of kicked in, and the only blue remaining is just the dips, the low spots. Now it's ready for prime coat. Okay, now that we have bodywork done on both sides, we'll go ahead and coat it with primer. This is just a 2K primer that we had mixed up. We're going to get it on there pretty heavy, so that way obviously it can protect whatever we worked on and keep it from rusting any more than it has. And of course, while I was doing the metal work and body work on that, antennas shaved off. That rust hole was patched up. I'm waiting for the glass guy and we'll take care of that. There you have it. Now that the wheel wells are capped off, welded, body worked, cleaned up, we can start on the wide body panels, and that's pretty much what you guys are here for. So now that we have a good base to start with, we can start with the panels.